ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक् प्राणश्चक्षु श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Mahopanisad, chapter 6, read verses 54 to 58.
जायते निश्चयः साधो पुरुषस्य चतुर्विधः आपादमस्तकमहं माता पितृविनिर्मितः इत्येको निश्चयो ब्रह्मन् बन्धायास विलोकनात् अतीतः सर्वभावेभ्यः बालाग्रादप्यहं तनुः इति द्वितीयो मोक्षाय निश्चयो जायते सतां जगज्जालपदार्थात्मा सर्व एवाहमक्षयः तृतीयो निश्चयश्चोक्तः मोक्षायैव द्विजोत्तम अहं जगद्वा सकलं शून्यं व्योम समं सदा एवमेष चतुर्थोऽपि निश्चयो मोक्षसिद्धिदः।
The four types of ascertainment as to what I am were described. First of them was taking the entire embodiment born of parents as I, which is the source of body. Other three were in reality, in the sense taking I Atma as oneself, they give moksha. This is now summarized. Read 59.
एतेषां प्रथमः प्रोक्तः तृष्णया बन्धयोग्यया शुद्धतृष्णास्त्रयः स्वच्छा जीवन्मुक्ता विलासिनः।
एतेषां प्रथमः बन्धयोग्यया तृष्णया and प्राप्तः इति and प्राप्तः इति प्रोक्तः त्रयः Shuddha Trishnaha. Trayaha. Shuddha Trishnaha. Swachchaha. Jivan Muktaha Vilasinaha. Etesham. Among these four views of ascertaining the body, ascertaining what I am. Among them, Prathamaha Nishchaya. The first ascertainment, namely, I am the body born of parents. This Prathamaha Nishchaya, Bandha Yogyaya, being the one which is the source of fit to be. Bondage means which is the cause of bondage. Trishnaya praptaha proktaha. It is totally riddled with Vishaya Trishna. It is totally binding in nature because it is totally riddled with Vishaya Trishna. See, to have sense pleasure, the first and the foremost capital is our body. Without body as I, without the notion of I-ness in the body, no Vishaya Bhoga, no sense pleasure is ever possible. See, the universal pursuit is to acquire happiness, but no sorrow at all. I want to have total happiness, but not even least, no trace of sorrow. The very desire is something which is wrong, because these two cannot go together. What are those two? On one side, Vishaya Bhoga, sense pleasure. Other side, total freedom from sorrow. These can never go together as far as our pursuit is interacting with the Vishayas and derive the happiness thereby. Why it is not possible? Because to have Vishaya Bhoga, first you should have body. Of course, mind, without it body doesn't work. Then the sense objects. They must be up to the specifications. Body must be capable of enjoying the sense object Vishayas. Vishayas must be available in the adequate measure. Mind has to be sound. Body has to be in a fit condition, which is ever changing, no guarantee. Now, our desire not to have even a trace of sorrow. Please find out What are the sources of sorrow? To begin with, our body itself is the basic source of sorrow, because sorrows emerge from physical body and the mind. So long as you have got the physical body, so long as you have got the mind, you can never escape Janma, Marana, birth, death, and all changes, diseases and calamities and this, etc., which breed sorrows. They are accompanying what you need. You need the body, you have to have order, you have to have this with them. Number two, source of sorrow. Loss of the objects and being that we need for our health. Any guarantee? You may be having crores and crores of rupees in the bank, and the bank itself disappears. Bank is not in a position to give you money. Being near and dear, any guarantee? All are our Indian railway passengers. Different passengers, they come in a compartment and they become friendly with each other. All gappa, all they say very nicely, goody, 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 goody. This person orders batata for other one. Other person orders tea for other one. Like that it goes on. How long? Till one's destination comes. And when the destination comes, that person who is to alight the train has even no time to say goodbye to the other people. He's busy in packing, etc., and then get down. Any guarantee? Yeah. For the Vishaya Bhoga, we already kept sorrows in store, without which it is not possible. Without body is not possible. Without body, without Vishaya is not possible, which has got potential sorrow. When it surfaces, without. Other example given, no. Olden days, not nowadays. Logs of wood in the Himalayan regions from the forest, they used to cut and transport. How they used to transport? Not lorry, truck and all this. These contractors used to brand them, they are dependent. Means mark them, whom it belongs, and throw in the Ganges. They go on floating. At the destination, they are caught and distributed. Now, while these masses of wooden logs are floating, some come together, some get separated, etc. Together, separated, together, separated, together, separated. Likewise, everyone in the sphere of one's life comes close to some, gets separated, close, separated, close, separated. The way of life. And we want to seek happiness here, but no sorrow. How is it possible? When you are there, your shadow also will be there. Means our very basic pursuit is wrong. Then you may say, what is the other way? This is the only way. This is the only way that you are convinced. You have totally thrown the Adhyatma Shastra to winds. You don't know that this is not the way, this is the wrong path, the correct path is different. So that being the case, here, this notion that this body is me itself is the source of sorrow, and the body which we need for our sense pleasure. So therefore, is the bandha yogya trishnaya prapta. It has got never ending, never satisfying hankering from sense pleasure. More pleasure you provide, more it demands. You know contentment, limited joy, but he wants limitless happiness. So that the word bandha yogya is a proktaha. Whereas other three views about oneself, wherein one Sarupa Chaitanya is ascertained and known in its real nature, free from these mistaken notions of I-ness, which are the source of sorrow. That is the one which gives liberation, and Jivan Muktas revel in that. Eliminate the identification with the body and focus your attention on the Chaitanya Sarupa, which is totally free from even the least trace of upadhi, which breeds sorrow. So therefore, our sorrow of samsara, or the very samsara which is characterized by sorrow in the form of mrityu. See, you said mrityu rupa samsara, because sorrow is at its peak in death. For the dying person and those who are surviving. That separation, which cannot be tolerated, because our entire happiness was depending on that. And if you just remove that platform, you are nowhere. This is because of our erroneous identification. That is why Adhyatma Shastra repeatedly points out, set right this error. Set right the error. I am not able to do that. Better take to what is called a satsanga, company of the good, company of the Shastras. Satsangatve nissangatvam nissangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan mukti. Satsangatve nissangatvam. In the sangha of the good people, there is nissanga. You declutch yourself from that erroneous identity in the body. You do not depend on the body and the Vishayas for your ananda. You have got nissanga, absence of sangha, absence of asakti, absence of preeti in these body onwards, all anatma. Satsangatve nisangatva. Once that is again, nisangatve nirmohatva. Your erroneous notion go on dropping off. The wrong notion, the body is I, Jagat is real, mind is real, all these go on dropping off. Nischala tattva. And you are rooted in the Nischala tattva, that is your Swarupa. Once you are rooted in that, Jivan Mukti, even though by prarabdha this person continues to live, he is unaffected by drishta sukha, drishta dukkha, in the sense unaffected by the sukha dukkha that comes to him on account of his prarabdha karma. So therefore, other three, traya shuddha drishna, if at all they need the vishayas, it is just for sustenance of the body, not to be happy as such. Prarabdha takes care of this. Prarabdham pushyati vapu. The body is sustained by the prarabdha karma. In this, or not in this, in these three ascertainments, which are in conformity with my Swarupa, one becomes Jivanmukta and discovers everything is me, Chaitanya, Atma, Brahma only. In the state of ignorance, I get confined to the body as I. And anything and everything other than the body as something different from me. This is because of erroneous identification. But here is the one who has discovered the Chaitanya as me. The Chaitanya in me is the Chaitanya in all, one and the same, homogeneous, all-pervasive Chaitanya Prajnana Ghana. That is not pointed out. Read 60.
Sarvam chapyahameveti nishchayo yo mahamate tamadaya vishadaya na bhuyo jayate matihi.
Mahamate yaha sarvam cha api ahameva iti nishchayaha. Tam adaya मतिहि भूयः विषादाय न जायते। Mahamati Nidaga is addressed by Ruhu as Mahamati. What is Mahamati? Big intellect. Oh, wise one. Oh, Viveki. Nidaga. Oh, Viveki. Yaha, any person, whoever he may be, Sarvam cha api ahameva iti nishchaya. That ascertainment that everything is me only, which means physical body cannot be everything as such. Chaitanya. Everything is me, the Chaitanya Swarupa only. Iti nishchayaha. What such ascertainment is there? Tam adaya. Having taken to it that ascertainment in the sense, having discovered the truth in that ascertainment that me is the Sarvavyapi Chaitanya and none of these upadis of bodies. Ta adaya. Matihi, mind of a person. Bhuyaha, again, as is earlier in the state of ignorance. Bhuyaha. Vishadaya na jayate means doesn't get subjected to sorrow. Such person doesn't get subjected to sorrow further in samsara because there is no identification of the body. Mind is centered in Paramanda Sarupa Chaitanya Atma. This is the truth. Not knowing this truth, different people like materialistic people, Bauddhas, Sankhyas, Nayayikas, Shaivas, they mistake the Chaitanya Swarupa Brahma differently. They take Brahma to be different things as such, which is far from truth. So the Brahma is one and the same, but mistaken by these people differently. Read 61.
Shunyam tat prakrutirmaya brahma vijnanamityapi shiva purusha ishanaha nityamatmeti kathyate.
Had yat. Yat continue Brahma. Nityam. Atma. Add iti. Advaiti bhi nishchitam. Add iti. Advaiti bhi nishchitam. Tat. First line. Add eva. Bauddhadayaha. Add. Tat eva. Bauddhadaya. Shunyam. Prakritihi. Vijnanam iti api. Shivaha Purushaha, Ishanaha, iti. Before Katyate is there, iti. Iti, Katyate. Add Tat Sarvam, Anatma. Take the word Maya after Prakriti. Tat Sarvam Anatma to be added. Continue with Maya. Further add iti Advaitinaha vadanti. Iti Advaitinaha vadanti. Yet, whatever that principle, what is it? Brahma. Whatever that is called as Brahma. See, when a word is there, a name is there, there will be content of the name. Means what it reveals has to be there. But you have to go to the source where it is described. For example, for this we have got what is called dictionaries, lexicography. It gives. But when they give, there is an authentic source for that. If you find Brahma word in the dictionary, you say all pervasive awareness. From where did they get it? Upanishads. From Upanishads they found. What is it? It is something which is formless in nature. How can Upanishad? Nedam yadidam upasate. Yan manasana manute yena or manomatam tadeva brahmatmam vidin nedam yadumat. That principle, which is formless, just a sample, by which the mind is able to function, but the mind is not able to objectify it. That is Brahma, not this Nama Rupa Upasya, which you are doing Upasana. Ultimate truth. Till then, Upasana might have been told for certain purpose. Shastra only tells. But it is not the ultimate truth. So, like this. So, it is Nityam Atma. Nitya I, the Chaitanya. Iti, who is this thing? Who is telling, not telling, ascertained. By whom? Advaiti bhi nishchitam. By thorough inquiry, with a mind which is duly prepared, it is ascertained by Advaitis in terms of verification of its aparoksha anubhava. Being aware of it as it is in Paramanda Sarupa, free from even the least trace of sorrow. Verification. Verification of Shastra. That's why we have got 3 cardinal points. Shruti, Yukti, finally verification, Anubhava. Anubhavavasanatva bhutavastu vishayatva cha brahmadhyanasya. Brahmadhyana pertains to an entity which is existent in nature, which is available for experience. Therefore, Brahmadhyana culminates in Brahmanubhava, Atmanubhava, as in the case of Pratyaksha, direct perception, where the perceptible entity is available right now for experiencing, for perception. So that is how iti nishchitam. Now say, the same one, Tad Brahma eva, which is ascertained by Advaita is in the right perspective. That same Brahma only, Tadeva, Baudhadaya, the people who follow other schools of thought, like Bauddhas. Even in the followers of Buddha, there are 4 varieties. Therefore, we don't know what exactly Buddha taught. He had discovered the truth. So that is how Baudhadaya. What they say, what they say, Brahma is, some people say like this, according to their view. Shunyam. Brahma is Shunya in the sense, that is what they mean. Non-existent. It is not there at all. Be careful. Shunya word is used for Atma in, if I remember correctly, Maitrayani Upanishad. Not as the non-existent one. Shunya as the entity which is empty, E-M-P-T-Y, empty of entire prapancha. Discard the prapancha to the furthest limit of discarding. There is no prapancha at all, empty of prapancha, but that state you are aware of, you cognize, you experience that entity which makes you experience, makes you aware of, is just as in sleep, you say nothing is there, but you are aware that nothing was there, is it not? That exists. This is where the Shunyavadis, nihilist, followers of Buddhas, commit the mistake. There is nothing accepted. But are you aware of it or not? Otherwise, how can you make a statement there is nothing? That thing is the one ultimate reality. And it can be only Chaitanya and Chaitanya alone. See how close we are to our real nature. Not simply close, we are very real nature. And yet, we deny its very existence. Can there be any greater unfortunate thing in life? And by negation or denying what happened, we suffer samsara. Get entangled in the wrong things. Take the wrong as the right. And then the blow of samsara comes. So Shunyam. This is what Buddhistic people say. Then Prakriti. Some others say that it is Prakriti. That Prakriti. Prakarshena Kriti Yogyatva. That power of creation. Prakriti. Vijnanam. Kshanika Vijnanavadi. Movement by movement, depending on every pratyaya, every thought in the world, whatever you are aware of, that flicker of consciousness confined to a specific entity, that Kshanika Vijnana, Like that, knowledge of this, knowledge of this, knowledge of this, etc. That is Atma, they say. Vijnanam ityapi. Now, followers of Shaiva, this Shaivism, Shivaha. Now, with this Shiva, not Chit Sarupa Shiva, Kailasadhipati Shiva, the one who is the master of Kailasa, one who dwells in Kailasa. Sakara. Same Shiva once, while teaching to Vasishtha, Sakaro Naiva Bhagavan. Anything which has got form can never be Bhagavat Tattva. Nirakara Chaitanya alone is Bhagavat Tattva. And it says, the Chit Shiva. You know what is Shiva? Mangalam. Ananda Swarupa. The word itself means Shiva. That's why in our culture, we don't use the word Shri for Shiva. Shri Shiva is not it. Shri Shankara you may put. Shri Mahadeva you may put. But Shri Shiva you not put. Because the Shiva word itself is the Mangala Swarupa. For others, Shri is put. Shri Vishnu. Shri Ganesha. Not anything shortcoming their Swarupa, but name-wise. The word-wise. Shiva is the only word which displays ever Mangala Swarupa. So therefore the epithet she is not necessary at all. So that way, but these people confined to that name and form of Kailasadhipati Shiva. They say. Then some others say Purusha, Jiva. Vedanta also says Jiva is Brahma. Jiva is Brahma, Vedanta says from Badhita Samana Adhikaranya. Not a Jiva as it obtains now, to Samsari, no. Ishanaha, Ishvara. Ishvara means power comes. Saguna. Name and form comes. Akara comes. It cannot be Ishvara. Iti Kathyate. So it is described by all these people. Says, truly speaking, Tat Sarvam Anatma. All that they describe as Brahma is what? Anatma. Is not Atma. Is not Brahma. Is not the I. Then what it is the Anatma. Whereas all they describe what is that Anatma, which is described by Vedantin as, or the Advaitin as what? Maya. Maya in the sense which appears to be there, which is certainly experienced, but truly not there at all. Truly not there. So what appears to be there. Just as a rope seen the place of not rope. Snake seen the place of rope. Appearance is there. Not true. Somehow this Jagat appears to be there, but truly not so. Iti, that is what all that Anatma is what? Maya iti Advaitinaha vadanti. This is what Advaitis have to say. the person who is or whose mind is absorbed in the Advaya Sarupa Atma Brahma has no samsara at all. He doesn't get subjected to the sorrows of the samsara. Read 62.
द्वैताद्वैतसमुद्भूतैः जगन्निर्माणलीलया परमात्ममयी शक्तिः अद्वैतैव विजृम्भते.
Advaita eva Paramatmamayi Shakti Dvaita Samudbhutaihi Jagannirmana Leelaya Vijrumbhati. Vijrumbhati manifests. What manifests? This Shakti. What Shakti? Not creative power. Paramatma Mayi Shakti. Paramatma Rupi Shakti. Chaitanya. Jagan Nirmana Leelaya. By the sports of creation of the Jagat. Born of what? Samudbhuta what? Dvaita Dvaita. Dual, non-dual in terms of the Jagat. Because something appears to be dual, there is a non-dual. What happened dual is discarded, what is the only one thing is there, what is reality. Even the word non-dual is not applicable. But in the state of ignorance, duality is experienced. Duality is mistaken as the reality. So, the real nature needs to be pointed out or described as non-dual. But in reality, the Jagat itself being false appearance, truly being not there, there is neither duality nor non-duality, because non-duality Advaita is a relative word with respect to Dvaita. You fix the Dvaita, reduce it to totally non-existent entity, the word Advaita becomes superfluous for Brahma. Till then it is useful. So this Paramatmamayi Shakti Advaita eva, non-dual nature only. Jagan Nirmana Leelaya Dvaitadita Samudvaya Vijrumpati. By the sports or born of duality and non-duality, it what? Vijrumbati manifests. Leelaya is there. What is that Leela? Leela means sports, not present day sports. Present day sports are money spinning mechanisms. A sport is only for sake of sport. Just play. There is no play, what, purpose at all. Even you can't say entertainment. Just be occupied. So therefore I say, it manifests. Means for a person who is so absorbed in the Atma Sarupa, Brahma Sarupa, there is no cognition of samsara. All that is there is only Swaprakasha, self-evident, principle of Chaitanya, which is self-evident Paramananda, wherein there is no sorrow at all. There is no cognition of what is called a samsara, including the mind which projects it. The mind is a culprit. It projects samsara. In sleep, no mind, no samsara, but unfortunately, ignorance is there. Cause is live there. Only to manifest the samsara in terms of waking and dream at the appropriate time. So that continue.
सर्वातीतपदालम्बी परिपूर्णैकचिन्मयः नोद्वेगी न च तुष्टात्मा संसारे नावसीदति.
This person whose mind is absorbed in the Sarupa, who is like this. Sarvatita Padavalambi. Paripurnaika Chinmayaha. Na udvegi, na tushtatma, samsare, na avasidati, samsare, na avasidati. Such person whose mind is so steadfastly absorbed in the Sarupa, never gets entangled in the samsara. No vasidati. Never gets entangled. Who is that person? Sarvatita Padavalambi. Avalambi depends on, in the sense, the one whose mind is always reposing in. The one whose mind is always reposing in, absorbed in the padartha or pada, the entity which is sarvatita. Atita, beyond the realm of, independent of sarva jagat, srishti. The one whose mind is always reposing in, absorbed in in the principle which is totally free from prapancha, the Brahma only. The mind is nothing but Brahma Sarupa. It has become Brahma Sarupa, which capacity it does have. And what is it? Such pada, entity, Paripurnaika Chinmaya. Paripurna, Sarvavyapi, full and complete. Eka Chinmaya, Eka, that and that alone is there. Advaita Sarupa. Chinmaya. Prachurya Maya, not Vikar. Chaitanya and Chaitanya alone. Sarvatita Pada. I just recollect an incident. One devotee of Satya Sai Baba. In fact, she is the one who had interaction with the Shirdi Sai Baba also. Great devotee Shirdi Sai Baba. And to her, she just said, I am going to come in Andhra Pradesh. And it's called Pedda Bottu or something. Actually, there is a nickname. Her name is something else. Pedda Bottu means one who puts a big kunkuma, big on the forehead. So she had written in her own Ashtottara Shatanamavali on Satya Sai Baba. And kept in a trunk, olden days. In a room, it was kept in a trunk. It was lying there. One name was Sarva Devata Sarupaya Namaha. The one who is the nature of the true real nature of all deities. After many years, she was doing something, she stumbled upon her own notebook where she has written this, and she was going through that. And where it was a trunk, huh? Where that name was there, Sarva Devata Sarupaya Nama, it was struck and it was corrected as Sarva Devata Titaya Namaha. Sarva Devata Atita, one who transcends, one is free from all the deities. That Chaitanya, Sarvayapi Chaitanya. That is what? Sarvatita. There it was confined to Devatas, here for entire Prapancha. The Chaitanya which is Nishprapancha, or what is called Prapanchopashama, wherein even the least trace of Prapancha is not there at all. Paripurna Chidmaya, Naudvegi, never gets subjected to sorrows. Nachatushtatma, nor rejoicing. Aha, I got this Vishaya. No rejoicing. Neither sorrow-ridden nor rejoicing. Samsare navasidati. Never gets entangled into this samsara, or never gets subjected to this samsara. We'll continue. Om
स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो